enjoying your day. I wanted to talk a little bit before we started about inspiration for where I got this piece that we're going to be doing today. So for those of you who don't know, I live and have my design studio in Chicago. Fabulous city. Love the city. Everybody knows I'm kind of obsessed about it. But one of the things that we don't have is a lot of green space. So we're surrounded by a lot of concrete and glass and energy and love all of that. So one of my favorite things is to walk the stores, walk outside Michigan Avenue, Oak Street, looking through the windows. And when you look through the windows, the first thing you see is the immediate impact that you're gonna have, right? A lot of times it's mannequins or the item they're trying to sell. What I find fascinating is what lies behind. If you look into windows, you always see the first part, but what back here, what's the depth that you're interested in? These are the things that I like. And if you look at a great window designer, they always plan it in two stages. They plan the front window, your first impact, and the depth behind what your second impact is going to be. So I'm very inspired by the concept of depth and what you think you're looking at versus what is laying behind. So that is my inspiration for today's bouquet, and I hope you guys enjoy it. There's a few different components, so we're gonna do all the components at once, and then we're gonna assemble. So, the first thing we're gonna do is make these, it's about 4 inches round, a bouillon pad. So, we are going to be using copper for this demo, but I ran out of copper actually. So I'm going to show you how to make it in silver, but we're going to go back to copper. So, grab your bouillon, and really you could do whatever color you want, but copper was going to work for what I'm working on. About 15 arm lengths of bouillon. Don't worry about it getting messy, don't worry about it coming in on itself. And if you drop it, you drop it. Not a big deal. So grab your bouillon in a wad like this. Again, this is the messy part. This is not the combined part. So you kind of have a ball. What you're gonna wanna do is start using your fingers and weaving it into itself. The bouillon is gonna naturally grab a hold and knot, and we just wanna create a sturdy, round palette of bouillon. And you want it see-through. The whole point of this concept is we want to be able to see through what we're doing. It's to add the depth that we're looking for, and we want to see beyond the initial design. Once it's locked in, and you have roughly the shape you're looking for, take a piece of bouillon, start it, and then what you're going to want to do is sew all the edges. What this does is it prevents your outliers, the pieces that are just kind of sticking out, may get snagged on something. So just put it through and keep sewing. And you're going to go all the way around until you get to the top. Let's pretend I did that. So you're going to need about 8 of these. So get these ready. I already preset some of ours. Then I have a simple votive candle holder. We all have these kind of laying around. Or do anything round. I put the pad onto here, and I want to create a cup shape. And we're gonna do that with all of these. And then you're gonna have 8 of these. And we can put that to the side. So gather 8 of these. That's one component of the design. The second part is we want to create a border for around the design, kind of a crown that sits on top of the design. I have this wallpaper that I'm using for a different project this spring. It is going to, I'll show you guys when I do it actually. It's gonna be fun. We're using this, it's self-adhesive. These kind of wallpapers come in so many different patterns and love them. I love this one especially for what we're doing because I like the bold print of it. The colors are gonna really shine through. Imagine this is gonna be sitting on top of that and you see how the colors are shining through and the pattern is shining through. It's kind of what we're going for today. So you could do this with either wallpaper, or if it's for a wedding bouquet, you can do the invitations, or even you could use the fabric of the dresses to correlate that in. There's lots of different ways you can do this, but for this pattern, we are gonna do the self-adhesive waterpaper, or wallpaper, can't even speak. Have here hole punch. Get them at the craft store. I have lots of different shapes of this. We use this kind of often for different things we do. But for this pattern, what we're gonna do is just go down and get yourself a bunch of discs. I already pre-cut some. Take a piece of bouillon. This is going to be about 34 inches long for what we're working on. It's nice because it has adhesive already on the back, so just peel the backs off. And start creating a pattern. You could do this element with ribbon, you could do this element with rose petals, flower petals, and just use the dashes. If you're using say an invite from the wedding and you're just cutting out paper from it, a lot of invites are kind of gorgeous right now. So much different texture to the paper. You could use your Oasis dashes and put them together. I'm just going down and putting it on one side, and then flip it over and do it to the other side. And you're gonna go all the way down the piece of bouillon, create a pattern. You could even put a couple of them kind of where they're out and over. Make her decorative. This is going to be the crown of the bouquet, so you're gonna wanna make it decorative. Beautiful, you're adding the color. So you're gonna go all the way down, something like that. When you complete that, you're going to get this. Do you see how I have some coming up here? It's not exact, it's a little bit more interesting, and the bouillon makes it flexible. So this is going to be sitting around the crown of our bouquet. So now we have our cups done, and we have our garland done. And that is our inspiration. So for the base of the bouquet, the mechanic of it, I took a piece of cardboard 9 inches diameter and then 4 18-gauge white taped wires, stuck the 4 through, ran them over different directions to the backside. Taped this all off with the white floral tape, and what I did is the whole cardboard piece, I used packing tape, clear tape, the white tape, and I just went over the whole thing. The reason I did that is because I don't want the integrity of the cardboard to get affected if I were to spray Crown and Glory on top of the floral and it gets some moisture onto the cardboard. I want it to stay solid. Also, if you put it in a cooler, I don't want any moisture affecting the integrity of the cardboard. So that's what you do for this. So that's our base. Pretty easy, functional, love it. Took a piece of our wallpaper. Again, you could do fabric or you could do other paper product. I think you're gonna love the wallpaper because it's adhesive and it just saves so much time. Went about 1 inch over in diameter. So I cut that in a circle. Let's take this off. Place this in the center. And see how easily that covered that? Fabulous. Take your shears and just make slits around the perimeter and just fold the slits up. The reason I make slits is so you don't get that, you don't have to worry about folding the corners in. This covers completely the outside. Makes it a little bit easier. Think about, you could do this for homecoming, proms, you could do this for bridesmaids, even actually a bridal bouquet you could do this for and use some fabric from her dress. Or better yet, if you're doing it for the bride, wouldn't it be kind of cool if you took fabric from her groom or bride, her partner's outfit, and based it there? She's carrying part of his down. Show these at bridal shows. What happens to creatives if we stop being creative and thinking outside of the box? And it happens to all of us where we get trapped in doing what is commercial. What do we have to do for our clients today? If we stick doing that always, what's going to happen to you is the creative part of you will die. Take classes, watch these videos, so now you got them all the way around. I just rub the edges to make sure they're smooth. But this is the base. I think it's beautiful already. But you can see when we put these on, you can see right through them. Remember I was talking about the windows and kind of looking at the first layer to look for the depth of what's behind? It's beautiful. Once you get that done, you're going to take ribbon and wrap the handle all the way down to a ribbon that matches your design of the paper or the fabric you're using. Then for us, what I have in the studio was some permanent botanicals, silver dollar eucalyptus. Absolutely, you could use fresh product. I just happen to have this, so I wanted to use this. So take off some pieces, grab your dashes. You could certainly glue this if you wanted. If you're going to glue on fresh eucalyptus, just be wary of it seeping through. And all you're going to do is make a pattern around to cover up the cardboard. The thing is you don't want people to see that it's just made, the base is made out of cardboard, right? You want to hide that. So then you're just going to cover the whole back with the eucalyptus, wrap the stem of the whole handle with a ribbon or some more fabric to correlates. But you have our complete base. Now let's assemble. I have some adhesive strips here. We're going to cut those in half. These things are heaven. I think when Oasis brought out the U-glue dashes and strips and the adhesive, it changed the floral industry. The industry will never be the same, for a good thing. Put it on the back. Place one in the center. Go all the way around with your others. And this adhesive, like I said, it's going to keep everything perfect for you. And you're going to go all the way around to create a pattern. And do you see how you can see through that? That's what I love about it, and that's why I love the bold graphic of this. So you're going to go all the way around, and I have a completed one here. So that is the front view. And after the video, we'll have some pictures of still images. But you can see how it goes through, and it kind of looks like a flower, right? You have the center, and then you have these petals. I bent the outside of the petals down a little bit. You have your beautiful cage. And then this is the back. Ribbon completed on the handle, and then we used the silver dollar eucalyptus all the way around to cover the back, so the back looks just as beautiful as the front. So this will be your complete structure. I design it facing down into a cylinder base. Let's grab some product. So this is the product I'm using. Some different succulents, some delphinium that I color enhanced with Design Master Perfect Pink. We have some thistle heads, permanent botanical Dusty Miller. I am never opposed to mixing permanent botanicals and fresh products together, and different succulents. And also the little petals that fall off of your succulents, you could put those into design. They don't belong in the garbage. You can utilize those. For this, we're going to be using our adhesive glue. As soon as you take the cap off, it just pops right open. When designing this, we don't want to cover the whole top with tons of floral because you still want to see through. That's the point of this. We want to see through to the back design. So I'm going to start with my biggest elements, which is my succulent pieces. Put a tiny bit of glue on. Take some other succulents. And yes, I know, to use glue, I should be waiting a few seconds for it to properly set, to get tacky before adhering it. But I'm adhering it to spaces where it's going to lay there anyway, so I'm not really worried about it moving too much. Inspiration is so important to what we do. What inspires us, it is so different for all of us. Everybody has a different inspiration. Take some Dusty Miller. I love Dusty Miller, but it's not always our friend. Trick about fresh Dusty Miller though, if you put it in the hottest water your tap can do, turn your hot water all the way up, put it in the hottest water it can handle, that you can get out of the faucet, it'll perk Dusty Miller right up and it'll last a lot longer for you. For some reason, it loves to drink the hot water. And I am putting this Dusty Miller underneath the bouillon flower. I want to bring some of that floral down. Again, we just want to make sure we're not blocking everything. And all of the items we're using are very delicate. We don't have heavy product into this. I wouldn't do big roses in it. I wouldn't do lilies. I would do small, delicate product. So that's where we're at so far, to give you an idea. Next, let's add some thistle. Into it. It's beautiful. When you do wedding shows, it's always fun to do the commercial, what everybody's showing on Pinterest, and then do something unique to show your creativity. Don't be the shop that does pure commercial and very little creativity. At the end of the day, the creativity is what they're going to photograph. They may not be buying that from you. They may just love to take a picture with it, but they'll remember that you can do more than just the average. And it kind of validates you a little bit, right? It validates you as a designer, that you are a designer. You're not just copying. You actually design. You create. There's nothing wrong with copying. We all have to copy at some point in our lives. But show people what you can do. Show people what you're made of. I love how this blue thistle is just pulling the color from the below. Getting a little bit more into the focal center. See, gorgeous, right? And let's just finish off with a few of our color enhanced florals. We don't say spray painted here. Words have power. If you watch any of my other videos, I talk a little bit about the power of words and how we talk. We color enhance. We don't spray paint. Doesn't color enhancing sound a little bit more expensive? So this is where we're going. We're almost finished adding flowers. And let's talk a little bit. We used in this a succulent plant, a few of the pieces off a succulent plant. We used a piece of cardboard for the base, a piece of paper or wallpaper, fabric, 2 stems of thistle, and some bullion. That's all we're really using in this. And the perceived value is so high. These are the things that we should be focusing on as businesses. We don't need a ton of stuff. A ton of stuff always looks beautiful. If you follow my business page, we do like that. Our brides like that. Customers like that. But it's not always what we need. So, see how you can see through still? Beautiful. Now let's add our collar. The collar is going to go around the design. So what you're going to want to do is take some dashes and just put some dashes along the side of the cardboard. You don't need a lot of them. Just enough to kind of give support to the collar, crown, calling it. And if you see it's falling a little bit, you could always go in and add a couple more dashes. Go ahead and wrap it around. Don't want it to be perfect. We want to show some interest with it. Cut off the extra bullion. Finish it off with a piece so it can adhere to itself. Do you see how it's kind of going every which way? Beautiful. So this was a bouquet, again, inspired by looking in windows, seeing the front layer and then seeing what lays behind. You see the flowers of the first, the bullion, and then you can see through the beautiful color of the wallpaper that we used as our base. Probably got a few more florets to this, and I will take some pictures and I will put these up at the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like our videos, please subscribe. We're posting a bunch of new videos every week, so subscribe below, you'll get an alert. And thank you for spending time with me today, and I hope you enjoyed. Have a lovely day.